Do you think children learn better in mixed schools or single-sex schools?
I think they learn better in mixed schools.
Why?
Because the real world is mixed, so they learn how to interact with all kinds of people.
Do you prefer buying in stores or online?
I think I prefer online. I tend to be a little bit introverted that way, I suppose. If I can buy something online, then I can look at all these other things I could buy online, and it normally has a larger variety of wares available than at any specific store.
Have you ever sold anything online?
Yes, I have sold on eBay.
What was it?
I sold a couple of things. I sold a computer scanner and a camera. Yeah.
Did you get what you wanted for it?
Yes, I think so. I set what I thought was a fairly realistic price for them, and I got what I expected.
If you could change one thing about your apartment, what would it be?
Right now we don't have any artwork up on the walls, so I would definitely want to get some more pictures or maybe a couple of paintings to put up.
Why would you change it?
The walls are just really bare, so it doesn't feel very inviting when people come over. It just looks very, very plain.
What's more important to you about a job? Having a good salary or doing something you really enjoy?
Definitely doing something I really enjoy.
Why?
Doing the course I study at university, I could become a banker, but I don't want to because I don't think I'd enjoy that, even though I'd earn lots of money. So I want to do something I enjoy. Yeah.
Have you ever helped a stranger or been helped by a stranger?
Yes. One time I saw somebody have their phone stolen, and I ran after the guy and retrieved the cell phone.
Do you think we rely too much on technology?
Yes.
Why?
Because technology often breaks, and then you don't have the skills that you need to deal with the situation.
Are there any gadgets you just couldn't live without?
I couldn't live without my hairdryer.
Do you like detective or mystery novels or TV series?
I do, yes.
Do you have a favorite author or detective?
I do like Raymond Chandler and the Philip Marlowe character.
Do you usually guess who the murderer is?
I don't, but I don't usually try to. I think I quite like just to wait and find out what happens.
Do you have a favorite designer?
I think my favourite designer is Alexander McQueen, who's a clothing designer, though it's too expensive so I can't buy any of the clothes, but I like looking at pictures of them.
Why do you like his clothes?
Because they are very, very unusual and they use lots of very interesting materials, and they're different designs. They're not just using designs from the past.
Do you think you are generally a lucky person?
Yes, I suppose I think I possibly am a lucky person. I certainly wouldn't count myself as unlucky, but I haven't won the lottery yet, but I'm enjoying life, and I think that's possibly as lucky as you can hope to be.
Can you think of a time when you've been really lucky?
Yes, I was very lucky when I was on holiday in Australia, and I was due to catch my flight back to England, but I turned up a day late and I'd missed it. But luckily there was one spare space on the plane leaving that day, and they were able to put me on it.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
The last time I had an interview for a job was in 2011.
How did you prepare for the interview?
I took a lot of rescue remedy to help with the nerves, and I just practiced every question that they could ask me in my head.
Did the interview go well?
No, it didn't. I didn't get the job.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
About 2 months ago.
How did you prepare for the interview?
Well, I looked at the job description and thought about my experience, and then tried to match my experience to the various different points on the job interview.
Did the interview go well?
It did.
How do you know it went well?
Because they offered me the job.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
I last had an interview for a job a few weeks ago. That's the last time I had an interview for a job.
How did you prepare for the interview?
To prepare for the job interview, I read about the company and learned about what they did, and to see if I liked the work that they did.
How do you know it went well?
I think it went well because they followed up with an email to talk about further opportunities at that company.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
The last interview that I had was for my current company that I work for, and that was about 2 years ago.
How did you prepare for the interview?
I prepared for the interview by doing a little research on the company, the kind of products that they make, their philosophy, the history and their background of the company.
Did the interview go well?
I think that the interview went well because it was actually a long interview. I had a lot of good conversation with the managers there, and I also got a few more interviews afterwards and eventually got the job, so the interviews went well.
When did you last have an interview for a job?
About 3 months ago.
How did you prepare for the interview?
I read about the company, and I knew what the job contents was, and I knew everything that I had to know for the interview. I was well prepared to answer their questions.
Did the interview go well?
It went well. In the end, they said I was too young, so they didn't hire me, but they would have if I was older, they said.